All right, settle in. This one's a slow burn, but in a good way. Picture this. You finally get a raise, or maybe a better client, or your YouTube revenue ticks up. Nothing wild, just enough that you notice it. Your bank app looks a little healthier. You're not panicking on the 27th of the month anymore. And honestly, it feels good. Like, you earned this. So, you upgrade a few things. You stop buying the cheapest brand at the grocery store. You move to a slightly nicer place. You start ordering food without doing the mental math first. You replace the old phone that still worked, technically, but the battery died if you looked at it wrong. You know how it goes. At first, nothing feels wrong. In fact, everything feels right. More comfortable, more adult, more calm. And yet, a few months later, something weird happens. You're making more money than ever before, but somehow you still feel tight. Still watching your balance. Still getting that little knot in your stomach when a surprise expense pops up. Still thinking, why does it feel like I should be doing better than this? That part right there, that quiet confusion, that's what nobody really talks about. And yeah, I spend way too much time thinking about money, human behavior, and why people who seem successful on paper still feel stressed about their finances. Probably an unhealthy amount of time, honestly. But I've noticed this pattern over and over again, in my own life, in friends' lives, in clients' lives, and even in people who make way more than we think we ever will. The problem isn't that lifestyle upgrades are bad. It's not about never enjoying your money or living like a monk. That's not the point. The problem is the hidden cost, the invisible stuff, the things that don't show up on your bank statement but quietly reshape how you think, how you spend, and how trapped you feel. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. By the end of this, I want you to understand why lifestyle upgrades feel so rewarding at first, why they quietly increase stress instead of reducing it, and how to upgrade your life without upgrading your anxiety. Because this isn't really about money. It's about freedom, and how easy it is to accidentally trade it away. The first lifestyle upgrade almost always feels harmless. You're not being reckless, you're not buying a Ferrari, you're just making life a little easier, a little smoother, a little less annoying. Maybe it's moving closer to work so you don't hate your commute anymore. Maybe it's finally paying for convenience instead of time. Cleaning service once a month, Uber instead of the bus, meal delivery instead of cooking when you're exhausted. And here's the thing, these upgrades genuinely improve your quality of life. Studies on happiness and money show that spending on convenience and time saving often increases day-to-day satisfaction more than buying status items. That's real. That's backed by data. So your brain goes, see, this is working. And it is, for a while. The issue is that relief is addictive, not in a dramatic way, in a subtle, sneaky way. Once your baseline comfort goes up, your tolerance changes. What used to feel like a luxury now feels normal, and what used to feel normal starts to feel unacceptable. That old apartment you once loved, now it feels cramped. That budget airline you used to tolerate, now it feels stressful. That old laptop, unusable. This is called hedonic adaptation. Basically, humans are really good at getting used to better circumstances. So good, in fact, that the happiness boost fades faster than we expect. Why it matters to you is simple. If your spending rises at the same pace as your comfort, you never actually feel richer. You just feel adjusted. Actionable takeaway here. Pause before your first big upgrade and ask, is this solving a real problem or just raising my baseline? If it solves a real problem, cool. If it just feels like a reward, slow down. Here's where things start getting dangerous. Not all spending is equal. Variable spending is flexible. Eating out, shopping, entertainment. You can pull back if you need to. Fixed costs are different. Rent, car payments, subscriptions, insurance, stuff that shows up every month no matter what. Lifestyle upgrades almost always increase fixed costs. A nicer apartment locks you into higher rent. A better car locks you into payments, insurance, maintenance. Even small things like multiple subscriptions add up and become normal. According to data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, as income increases, housing and transportation expenses rise disproportionately, not linearly, disproportionately. People don't just spend more, they commit more. And commitment is where flexibility dies. I've seen people double their income and somehow feel more stressed than before, not because they're irresponsible, but because their fixed costs grew quietly in the background. Why this matters is simple. Fixed costs reduce your margin for error. They make unexpected events scarier. Job loss, health issues, a bad month. Suddenly, everything feels fragile. Actionable advice: treat fixed costs like long-term commitments, not rewards. Upgrade them slower than your income. If your income goes up 20%, your fixed costs shouldn't. This one hurts a little. Lifestyle upgrades rarely happen in isolation. They're often shaped by the people around us: friends, coworkers, online creators, Instagram stories. You know the drill. You're not trying to compete, you're just keeping up. The problem is that you're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel, and your brain fills in the gaps with assumptions. They travel a lot, so they must be doing great. They upgraded their place, so they can afford it. They eat out all the time, so it must be fine. But you don't see their debt, their stress, their savings rate, their long-term plan, or lack of one. Research in behavioral economics shows that relative income often matters more than absolute income, meaning how you feel depends more on how you compare than how much you have. Why it matters? If your upgrades are driven by comparison, they will never be enough. There will always be someone ahead. Actionable takeaway: audit your influences. If following certain people makes you feel behind or pressured to spend, mute them. Seriously, that's not weakness. That's self-defense. Let's talk numbers for a second. Say you get a raise of $1,000 a month after tax. That feels huge, life-changing even. But then rent goes up $300. Car upgrade costs $250. Subscriptions creep up $100. Eating out increases by $200 because you can afford it now. Suddenly, that raise is gone. This is lifestyle inflation, and it's brutally efficient. Studies show that most people only save a small portion of income increases, often less than 30%. The rest disappears into higher spending. The scary part? It doesn't feel irresponsible. It feels logical, reasonable, deserved. Why it matters is if raises don't translate into savings or investments, they don't buy freedom. They just buy nicer obligations. Actionable advice: when income increases, automate saving first. Treat savings like a fixed cost before upgrading anything else. Here's the irony nobody warns you about. A higher lifestyle often increases anxiety. More stuff to maintain, more bills to remember, more things that can break, more expectations to meet. Psychologists call this the paradox of choice and responsibility. More options and more complexity create mental load. You start worrying about maintaining your lifestyle, about falling behind, about losing what you've built. Why it matters? Peace of mind doesn't scale with spending. In many cases, it moves in the opposite direction. Actionable takeaway: ask yourself, does this upgrade simplify my life or complicate it? If it complicates it, think twice. This one's subtle. At some point, your lifestyle becomes part of your identity. You're the friend with the nice place, the one who travels, the one who eats out at good spots. And once identity gets involved, downgrading feels like failure, even if it's the smart move. Behavioral studies show that people resist losses more than they value gains. It's called loss aversion. Giving something up hurts more than gaining it felt good. Why it matters? When your identity is tied to spending, flexibility disappears. You trap yourself. Actionable advice: build identity around values, not consumption. Be the disciplined one, the calm one, the prepared one. Let's reframe everything. The real upgrade isn't nicer stuff, it's optionality, margin, the ability to say no. Money is powerful because it gives you choices, not because it buys things. Every fixed expense you add reduces those choices. Every unnecessary upgrade narrows your options. Why it matters? Freedom compounds. Stress compounds too. Choose which one you're feeding. Actionable takeaway: measure wealth by how long you could live without income, not how impressive your lifestyle looks. This isn't about deprivation, it's about intention. Upgrade things that genuinely remove friction. Delay upgrades that lock you into higher fixed costs. Keep your savings rate growing with your income. And, most importantly, leave slack, white space, breathing room. That's where peace lives. If there's one thing I hope sticks with you, it's this. Lifestyle upgrades aren't evil, they're just sneaky. They show up dressed as rewards in comfort and success, and slowly, quietly, they ask for more. More income, more attention, more stress. You don't lose freedom all at once, you trade it away in small, reasonable decisions. But you can choose differently. You can enjoy your money without letting it own you. You can upgrade your life without upgrading your anxiety. You can build a lifestyle that supports your freedom instead of consuming it. That starts with awareness, with pausing, with asking better questions. Not, can I afford this? But, what does this cost me long term? And honestly, once you start thinking that way, everything changes.